Hi everyone. This is Bakapachan Cholikar. Welcome back to Test Automation Tools Selenium. In this video session, we will talk about what is implicit wait and explicit wait in Selenium Webdriver. Let us jump to the high-level agenda for the today's video session. First, we will discuss what is this implicit wait, and next we will discuss what is this explicit wait, and after that we will discuss what is the difference between implicit wait and the explicit wait in Selenium Webdriver. First, we will write and code for the implicit wait, and we will discuss what exactly implicit wait is, and after that we will discuss what exactly explicit wait is, and with respect to test script we will discuss it, and finally we will discuss what exactly the difference between both the test scripts. Let us jump to the Eclipse IDE. So just I will create a simple test case here. Press Ctrl N and select test_ng class here. Click on next button, and here you have to specify the class name. So here I am specifying the class name as waits, and click on finish button. That's all. I got a new class with the test_ng annotation. That's all. I will rename this F with the test script 1. That's it. First, I will write 3 lines of code that launches you the web browser and that enters some specified URL. First, I will launch the browser, and after that I will enter some URL that is called. You can use your own URL. Any URL is fine. So for I want to show the usage of that implicit wait and the explicit wait in Selenium Webdriver. So first I will launch the browser by using the system.set property. So here you have to mention the string type. Here I am mentioning WebDriver dot. I am launching the IE browser. So after that I need to enter driver. So here you have to specify the .exe file for launching the Internet Explorer browser. So for that I will take the path of that .exe file, and I will paste it here. I need to take this entire path of that .exe file. So just will copy this name of that .exe file. Here you can use 2 /, or you can use 1 /. In my case I am using 2 /. That's all. And here I will create the object of Internet Explorer driver, and I will assign this to the WebDriver type. That's all. Just I will import the related packages. Let me rename this small d with in a caps D. Actually that is a small letter. So actually this is the correct. Let me import all the related packages. After that I will specify the URL by using the get method. So here I will write simply https://www.google.com. That's it. Now we will see how exactly you have to write implicit wait in Selenium Webdriver. So you have to use the driver reference variable dot. You have to call to the manage method, and under that you have to call static method. So many static methods. Here I am calling timeout method. Under that I'm going to call one more method called implicitly wait. This method accepts two arguments. Here first it accepts the number of seconds. You can mention I'm working with respect to seconds, so I'll mention some 5 seconds. Here you have to mention time unit in terms of what you want to mention. You want to wait for particular element to be finding out. So here you will get so many options. Days you can specify, hours you can specify, microseconds you can specify, milliseconds you can specify. So many options are there, but I'll select. In this video session I am talking about seconds. So here I have mentioned 5 seconds. So I'll select the seconds option. That's all. This implicit wait, by default it will be 0. If you have specified implicit wait, it will wait for 5 seconds for finding out any web element. So here I am finding one element by, say for example, I'll mention the dummy variable, dummy data I'll specify here, dummy values. So for example I'll specify some 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever the numerical or a string enter. Just I'm specifying Selenium. Actually I don't have any web element Selenium in this particular page. For that I'm sending data. So by using the send keys, so here I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all. Actually I don't have this element with the Selenium in this google.com page. Still I am finding this element by using the find element. So the main aim of writing this wrong statement is just I want to show you how implicitly wait works for the Selenium WebDriver. So this statement applies for all the find element and find elements methods. So here when I execute this small test script, it will wait for finding this particular web element by ID as a Selenium. It waits for 5 seconds after the getting page load. So I have mentioned wrong web element here, web element locator value here. So it will wait after the page load, after the google.com, after entering the URL, specified URL, it waits for the 5 seconds. After that it will say this element is not found, unable to find this particular web element. So just I want to show how many seconds it is waiting for finding out this particular element by ID. So let us execute this test script. I'm getting some other exception here. So let us look into the, so here you have specified path is not correct, it is saying. So what I will do is I'll check out the path. Let me execute one more time this same script and we'll look into the error, exactly what I'm facing here. The path of the driver executable must be WebDriver.i.driver. So same thing we have mentioned it bit wrong, because what is the wrong is here, you have mentioned this as a caps letter, this should be in small letter. The small mistakes may stop your script to run, so just be careful when you are specifying this string. That's it. Let us execute this same script. This time it should work as expected. It should launch the browser and it should enter that particular specified URL, and it should try to find out that particular web element that we have mentioned it as a wrong by ID. Actually that web element is not exist, so it should wait after the page load, it should wait for that particular number of seconds we have mentioned in the implicit wait. So let us move on. Yeah, you got this as expected, it is working because it is saying unable to find this particular web element by ID equal to Selenium, and it is waiting time is, you can see here, 5 seconds 24 seconds, sorry 5 seconds 5.24 seconds here. This is how you have to implement the implicit wait in the projects. Let me comment this as the implicit wait. The default wait time of the implicit wait is 0 always. This implicit wait applicable for all find element, and you will be finding one more method called find elements that returns you the list of web elements, and it will always applicable for the driver instances. Let us move on to the explicit wait. So let me comment this entire statements so we can concentrate on the explicit wait. So for that you have to create the object of WebDriver Wait class. So here I am creating a object of WebDriver Wait class. So here I am writing wait reference variable, and after that I am assigning object to the WebDriver Wait reference variable. That accepts two type of argument. One is driver type and one more is timeout seconds. How many seconds you want to wait to find that particular web element. So here I am saying 10 seconds. That's it. So what I will do is explicit wait are the waits in a Selenium WebDriver that is applied on the web elements. Suppose, say for example, just I will give us one small example. Suppose say you are submitting your personal details in any web application. Whenever you selected your district as some XYZ, then automatically it will fetches the data, your state of that particular district and country of that particular district. In such a time you have to wait for that particular element to be fetched, right? So such a condition, such a scenarios, these kind of waits will be used. So here I will give you some simple example here. So I will use the wait dot. Here I am checking one condition until so here I am writing one expected conditions dot. So here I am calling one more method called visibility of element located by. So here I am finding any of the one web element. Say for example name, you can use the name and you can specify the value for that. I'll specify some XYZ, some SDF values. You can specify anything here and that. Just enter. That's it. These explicit waits are the way whenever you are waiting for the conditions to be specified, that time you will be using the explicit waits. So what I did is just I created the WebDriver wait object and I have assigned to the reference variable, and after that I have mentioned the how many seconds you want to wait. See here I am waiting for this. Suppose I have selected the in the drop down district of the any district name of the any state, and automatically it will it should fetch the data for the state and the country of that particular district, right? Such a time you have to wait for that particular drop down values to be get select. In such a time that particular conditions should be met, right? For that you have to specify the how many seconds you want to wait. In such a condition you will be using explicit waits. So after that just I'm saying for identifying this element by name, you wait for some 10 seconds. So after 10 seconds, if it is fine within 10 seconds it finds any web element with the by name, it will perform its required operation on the web page. Otherwise it will throw you an exception. So let us execute these test scripts and you will be seeing how exactly you can see the output of this explicit wait condition. So let us run this script. Yes, it is launching the browser, and after that it will wait for the 10 seconds, and after that it will throw an exception. I am not able to find this particular web element by name. So my main intention is how exactly this implicit wait and explicit waits are working exactly in the script. So when you see this particular exception timed out after 10 seconds, visibility of element by name as some ASDF value. So it is waited 10 seconds for finding out this element by name. That's all. And explicit wait, you have to specify the value by yourself, and it default value cannot be assigned, cannot be defined by the Selenium Webdriver. That's all I have in this video session. And finally we will discuss what is this difference between the implicit wait and the explicit wait in Selenium Webdriver. Let us jump to the differences. What exactly differences are there in the implicit wait and the explicit wait. First case, implicit wait, when you are trying to find any web element or elements, they are not immediately available. Say for example, a page got loaded. Suppose suddenly you are not able to find any web element or web elements. Such a time you can use the implicit wait. In case of explicit wait, whenever you are waiting for certain conditions to be satisfied before that time period. So say for example you have done some any operation on the one page, and in another page that value should be get displayed. Suppose you have submitted some addition of 2 number, that result should be seen in some other page after clicking on some other links and all. That time you have to wait for that particular specified time, and you have to implement explicit wait in such a conditions. And after that, in case of implicit wait, the default time will be 0. So in explicit wait, you have to define it yourself. Default wait time, it cannot be defined by the Selenium WebDriver. The third difference is implicit wait works for only WebDriver instances. That's of find element or find elements commands in the Selenium WebDriver. Finally, we have difference for the explicit wait works for only WebDriver wait instances. That's it. You can try to implement same in the in your project, that is implicit wait or the explicit wait, and if you find any difficulties, please let me know, and you can add comments in the comment section. And if you find any queries, please you can drop an email to my email ID, and you can send out an WhatsApp message to 843-125-3007. Please do subscribe, like and share this video, and thanks for watching.